Of course, we all are aware of how America and Europe are pressurizing everybody, including Africans, to support Ukraine emotionally, psychologically, and diplomatically. So I want to ask a question. Why is it that each time Europe and America is crying, it will be calling the whole world to support them? And even if they are actually making a mistake or actually taking, doing things that will cause problem to the world, they still call the world to support them. Why can't they stand on their own and cry when Africa is grappling with terrorism? Africa is grappling with all sorts of criminal activities courtesy of the West and America. They haven't stood with us to cry with us, but today they are calling us to cry with them. And Ukraine, even though they are the one fueling the fight in Ukraine, Ukraine is cowardly, and the Zelensky is so stupid that he does not know his country is being used as a leverage to fight Russia. The country is now a stamping ground, a guinea pig to fight Russia by NATO's and their own allies. He does not know about that. So of course there is a video I am going to show you for you to see where the debate started, that America and Europe, they are benefiting from this war that is against Ukraine or against Russia. We are yet to find out who is the aggressors in this war, because the mainstream media will always promote the Western interest. So let us find out actually who is the president of Nigeria. Of course, they don't have anything to say. They do because
they host what we thought they would. Top arms companies in America today, if reports are to be believed. A protracted war in Ukraine is a massive, massive, once-in-a-lifetime profit opportunity for America. And it is time this US war bonanza is exposed, ladies and gentlemen. Let's debate.
The writing on the wall indicates it could be a protracted war in Ukraine.
Today, Kyiv still stands and that government still presides. This fight is far from over. Here's the point. This war can continue for a long time, but the United States will continue to stand with Ukraine and the Ukrainian people in the fight for freedom.
And the Pentagon is sniffing an opportunity. Reports indicate it is all set to host leaders from top 8 US weapon manufacturers to discuss the industry's capacity to supply weapons. Just over a month of the war has meant a spike in stock value for American defense companies. And the deals are pouring in. Germany is all set to buy 35 US F-35 fighter jets that cost about $77.9 million each. Billions are being made. Factors from armed private security contractors like Blackwater and DynCorp to defense companies, this war is a bonanza. It is a time to call out the American war economy. Let's debate.
Okay, we have Professor Mark Merowitz of the State University of New York from New York, Andrew K.P. Leung, China strategist from Hong Kong, General G.D. Bakshi, India's leading defense expert from New Delhi. And my first question is to Yevgeny Popov, Russian member of parliament and also a senior journalist. Mr. Popov, today the biggest names in defense in America, Raytheon Technologies, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, L3 Harris Technologies, were reported to be meeting Pentagon officials to discuss their role in a protracted war in Ukraine. It seems, and welcome also to Valentin Yakushik from Kiev and Professor Andrew McLeod from King's College London. It seems, Yevgeny Popov, that the America is really excited about the prospect of a long war, a protracted war, a never-ending war. They seem to be preparing for a very long war. Is Russia prepared for that?
It's not going to be a long war. Thank you for giving me that floor. I don't think we're going to fight for a long time, for years. And I think we will destroy all the weapons which American companies is going to transmit and they're going to deploy to Ukraine. Because, of course, we can see that all Western countries now are delivering heavy weapons to Ukraine. But those weapons are targets for our military, for our missiles, for our aircrafts. And I don't think it's a big deal for Russian military. And answering your question, no, it's not going to be a long war. And it's just a dream for America. It's just a dream for United Kingdom, because they can earn huge money on weapons, on contracts, on a lie about Ukraine and everything else.
Yeah, I just lost your video there, Mr. Popov. If you can just switch on your video once again. We go switch on your video once again. We lost your video line. I can hear you, but we lost your video there. Can I have you back, please, Mr. Popov? Can you hear me? Okay, we lost the line. We'll bring him back. Okay, so Valentin Yakushik, Mark, exactly what I predicted, you know, such excitement in the American war industry. Let's make it a long war. Let's make it last. Let's sit with Pentagon. Let's extend this, Professor Mark? This is exactly why the profits and share prices of these companies have been going through the roof. So what I had said earlier, that the real intention in America is to feed its war economy for years. They are slurping as Ukrainians die. This is their most exciting moment as tens of thousands of Ukrainians continue to be killed. How ironical, Professor Mark, and how cruel for the American arms industry to be indulging in this kind of profit-making, while Ukrainians die, without committing a single American soldier. Yes, Professor Mark.
Well, I think that is not the right focus. I mean, the gentleman spoke about the dream for America, but actually it's a nightmare that was created by Russia. You know, this would all stop in 1 minute if Russia stopped attacking with aggression against Ukraine. In fact, our president, President Biden, I believe today or yesterday, called Russia's actions genocide. So it's in about 10 seconds, if the Russians would pull out, then there would be no need to supply weapons to defend Ukraine against external aggression. Let me finish. And the point being that who started the war? Russia. Who is committing atrocities against civilians? This is our president is talking about this. So defense industry, in my opinion, Arnab, is really besides the point. So I don't think they're excited about it. I think the defense industry of the United States makes itself available to provide weapons to defensive purposes, javelins and stingers, to protect the Ukrainian people, and particularly the innocent civilians, from the extraordinary aggression. And I'm quoting my president, President Biden, and my UN ambassador and my Secretary of State, who have spoken about this. So if Russia wants to stop, they should stop, and then there won't be any need for any weapons.
No, that's all right. But we have, again, focused question, Mark. And Mr. Popov is a Russian MP. He will respond to you, not me. I would love to engage with you. I would love to engage, but I say this to you. Just a simple and elementary question which can have a very, binary kind of reply. Tell me, Professor Mark, is it true or not that in America, as these billions, maybe trillions are spent, and companies like Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop, General Dynamics all make a lot of money, is it true or not that many jobs will be created in America? Is it true or not? Is it true or not that it will be excellent for your economy? Is it true or not there will be huge profits for American companies, right? And is it true or not? Is it true or not? Therefore, allow me to complete that the war is a bonanza for America. It's a bonanza of unparalleled proportions. It's a fantastic thing. It's the best thing that can happen for the American economy, the American people, for the American government, and for the defense companies. It's magical. It's magical. The turnover of these companies will go through the roof. Am I right or wrong? Don't go into the... am I right? Am I right?
How about this? You're right and wrong. Okay?
I am right.
That the defense industry is an industry in our country, which is a capitalist industry, and there are defense industries around the world. These are big companies.
And it's also true, Professor Mark, that after the exit from Afghanistan, the defense industry had no source of sustenance till Ukraine happened. You needed Ukraine. You needed Ukraine.
It's an absurd argument, and here is the point why I say that. Because if there were no attack by Russia, if there were no aggression by Russia, then there wouldn't be any need for all these countries, not just the United States, by the way.
Popov.
It's other countries too. Czech Republic is providing weapons.
Shall we open this?
Finland, many other countries are uniting to save Ukraine from unabashed, bold aggression that we have not seen in the world since World War II.
Shall we open it up?
So honestly, yes.
Shall we open it up from London? What do you think?
These are companies,
Professor McLeod.
I think
defensive.
I think if Mark, would you let me speak, please? Mark, can you let me speak, please?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Well, hang on. You don't know me. I don't know you, but I've been asked to speak. So, Mark, please respect the other guests. I think that you're setting up the discussion here in the wrong way. It's not a binary argument. There's a whole lot of complex things that are coming in here together. So I'll make 4 very quick points. Quick point 1, it will be a long war, because if Russia succeeds in its territorial desires, then you're going to have multi-generation, multi-decade insurgency coming out of the Ukrainian people. That's clear. Point 2, over the last century, Switzerland and the United States are the 2 countries that have economically grown the most because of conflict and war, one through banking and one through production. Third point, President Eisenhower is the first person to talk about the military-industrial complex when he left the presidency. And fourthly, this is where Mark is right, none of this would have happened if Russia didn't invade Ukraine. So yes, some industries are going to profit. No, it's not right to set it up as binary. Yes, it's going to be a long war. And yes, the US military will win.
Yes, Professor McLeod, I'm getting a response from General Bakshi here. I'm focused on the money part of it, and my only simple proposition is, and I'm not putting any value judgment, is that when Germany puts in $100 billion injection in defense and they want to get F-35s, who do they buy it from? They buy it from the Americans. So all the billions, hundreds of billions. Raytheon says Europe is big. Raytheon says we're so excited. And what does Raytheon do? They're a missile manufacturer. They're excited. They have been uncontainable in their excitement.
At the behest of American companies.
General Bakshi, no, I made my point. General Bakshi, my point is on money making. General Bakshi.
You know, Arnab, it is to my mind highly immoral that a nation, induces the Ukrainians to fight the Americans and the NATO, and then they leave them high and dry with promises that we'll keep selling you weapons. You can fight till the last Ukrainian standing, till the last building in Ukraine is standing. You keep fighting, we'll cheer you on. We'll give Zelensky a global platform to exhibit his arterial skills. And at what cost? At the cost of the Ukrainian people. It is this that I feel terrible about. They have led the Ukrainians to face the music. The Ukrainian 40 cities have been reduced to rubble. And you blame it very conveniently on Russia. May I invite you to read what the very respected Professor John Mearsheimer has said, who started this war. It is the Americans who pushed the Russians into a fight, who kept pushing NATO to the borders of Russia. Last year, Arnab, in July they had a major military exercise in which the Americans, the Ukrainians, the Polish and the Latvians participated. They gave Zelensky the impression that you fight with Russia, we will step in. What happened in the month of December? They had a major naval exercise called Sea Breeze on the coast of the Baltic, on the coast of the Azov Sea. They invited 32 navies. What happened in December? The foreign minister the foreign secretary of the United States signs an agreement with the foreign
But they're
secretary
saying,
of Ukraine.
yeah, but they're saying,
You know,
but they're
quoting
saying,
the Budapest 2008 agreement.
yeah, but
that
they're
means
saying,
for all practical purposes.
yeah, but they're saying, I want to go to Andrew K.P. Lung. I'm come back to Mr. Popov. The point, what the Americans are saying, and what Professor McLeod from London said, they're saying we don't want to spend the money. Yes, we will make money, but you stop the war, then nothing is going to be spent on the money. They're saying the rest of the world, Russia, China, others need to do more to stop the war. Instead of talking about how much money America is going to make out of the war, Americans made the most money out of the Second World War. We forget. The Americans have great dexterity in making money out of wars. Everyone knows about it. But they say, let Putin stop the provocation. There will be no war. Andrew.
Yeah, well, look. I think first of all, sorry.
Yes, Andrew.
Which Andrew?
From Hong Kong.
No, Andrew K.P. Leung. Sorry, Andrew Leung. Thanks.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Well, I think that first of all, of course, the United States want to drag down Russia and try to eventually even destroy Russia and also President Putin. Because this has been going on a long time now. I mean, it's over nearly 2 months of the war. So, but on the other hand, there is no way that President Putin would back down. I don't think that is also neither in the interest of Russia or the United States to have a long war. In the case of Russia, obviously, they don't want it to drag on indefinitely. They've lost a lot of soldiers, a lot of equipment. So by concentrating their forces in the Donbass area, they want to achieve a quicker victory. As far as the United States is concerned, dragging it out is not going to, it's no solution, because there is a huge inflation caused by this war in the United States. And the Fed has got to increase interest rates already, which is bad for the economy and bad for President Biden's midterm elections. So I don't think that it is in America's interest to have a long war. But there is no doubt that by supplying weapons to Ukraine, the United States want to drag down Russia.
I disagree with you, Andrew. I want to check out how Valentin thinks, because he's from Kiev and he's Professor Valentin Yakushik. I think it is in America's interest to have a long war. I disagree with Andrew K.P. Leung. I think it is in Ukrainians' interest to end the war. It is the only people who will suffer the most, like the Iraqis did, are the Ukrainians. Like the Afghans did, are the Ukrainians. I'll give you an example, Professor Valentin. What happened in the Second Gulf War? What happened in the Second Gulf War? No. Just 1 minute. ExxonMobil, Chevron, Halliburton, all went to Iraq. All the oil, it went to America. 80% was exported. Almost 30% of people in Iraq had no energy and were in absolute poverty. So the question is, America will extend the war at your cost. Professor Yakushik.
Yeah. But America is different. In Iraq and Afghanistan, a lot of American budget, military budget, was plundered by some corrupt businessmen. Yeah, biggest companies.
There's so much corruption in Ukraine. Corruption has been one of Ukraine's biggest problems.
I meant, yeah, what happened before. As to Ukraine, first of all, in Putin's team who dragged him into this trap, there are probably tacit agents of transnational military-industrial complex and haters of East Slavic civilization. So they did all possible to destroy the unity of Ukrainian people and Russian people, and also to let American and other industrial complex institutions to earn a lot of money in this war. As to Ukraine, we have two possible strategies now. When Ukrainian military capacities in producing our own military equipment are undermined, either to be for 10 years part of the project of being the biggest consumers of Western military production, or to create a new version of a new concept of what is future Ukraine, how it will behave, not being just the battlefield.
No, but you know, they will. My worry is, and I want to get Mr. Popov on this limited time. The Americans will help in the destruction of Ukraine, and then the American companies will say, let's make the arms to destroy Ukraine, then let us bring in our contractors to rebuild Ukraine. It's a reality. When they left Afghanistan, the Afghans were holding on to the wheels of their transport aircraft. They fell from the sky. That image is frightening, and Ukrainians should look at it today. I want Mr. Yevgeny Popov to respond to you, please. Mr. Popov, the other flip side is there's going to be a lot of money, technology, funding behind the arms. So Russians will also hurt if the arms are used against you.
Of course, the sanctions is pretty hard, but we're not going to feel it hardly as Iran or some other countries, because we are independent and sovereign country which is going to live and use our own technologies. We have everything. We're a space country. We have satellites. We have computers, telephones, cars, aircrafts, and everything, which is gonna be good soon, I hope. It's a huge hypocrisy to say that we started this war. It's a hypocrisy completely. This war is continuing for 8 years, and Americans and Ukrainian army have killed already 14,000 people in Donbass, in Donetsk, in Lugansk. I've seen it by my own eyes. I've been in Donbass for a lot of times, and I've seen shelling from Ukrainian side to civilians. And we are not going to start this war. We are going to finish this war. And of course, we are fighting with American world order, because we're not going to live under the American umbrella. We don't need it. We have our own umbrella. We have our own mind, and our people are independent, as in your people in India. You can make your own decision. It's your right. It's our own right in Russia to do what we think it's right. And of course, one battle is with Nazi in Ukraine. The second battle is with American order, American world order, and we're gonna win, because we already use our currency with you. With China, with some other countries. We can trade by rupee, by ruble.
I know a lot of you disagree. 1 minute. I can 20 seconds to disagree. 10 seconds each. 10 seconds each to Professor McLeod first, and then to Mark. Yes, please. Professor McLeod first.
Whatever drugs Mr. Popov was on, I think the whole world wants them. Russia is nothing more than the puppet of the Chinese. The Chinese is the response of the West and the Americans. The Russians don't even realize they're a puppet. Russians should not have invaded
10 seconds
Ukraine,
to Mark.
but they have.
Audio. Mark, open up your audio line.
This is one of truly the craziest discussions I've ever heard in my whole life. It's a reversal of reality. Russia attacked, and you know, Arnav, you compared the Second World War. Are you kidding me? What do you expect the United States to have done in World War II? Sit down and wait and let Britain be destroyed and the rest of the world be destroyed by the Nazis? No. And we are not.
No. I only want to tell you a little bit about American history, because it happens to be one of my areas of interest. Mark, I don't live in an alternative universe. I have a great amount of interest in American history. I would even give you the dates when your American president called the presidents of all the American car companies, including Ford, all the car companies, and said, you're going to make a lot of money, let's get into this war. Next time we meet, I'll tell you the details of that meeting and what impact it had on Detroit and the American auto industry. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me tonight, and I'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Till then, good night and goodbye.